Bait your hooks, grab a drink, get settled. It's your boy Sean Johnson with Set the Drag Podcast. It's 7 o'clock Central Time in the United States. Guess what? And you live with me. I'm glad to see you guys here. Look, we got a big week ahead of us this week. Got a huge week ahead of us. We're going to be fishing in cattle. So I need everybody to pray for me. Like send up like 10 Hail Marys. Do something big. I need them. This lake is like my nemesis, guys. This is like one of the worst lakes for me. Cattle Lake, which is in the Shreveport area. It's a 5-hour drive we have on Friday to take. And we're going to practice a little, just run around the lake, see what's going on. And then on Saturday morning, I'm going to need all my fans, friends, partners, compadres. Say a quick prayer, wish me good luck. Give me some great vibes that morning on my Instagram page. But before we go any further, we got a special guest today who's going to help us get through the rest of this season because he is a life coach. He is a friend of mine because I'm going to call him a friend of mine because friends stop you and they guide you the right way. They don't allow you to just keep going the wrong way. So this fella here has been a friend of mine since I think 6, 7, 8 years of age, I believe. Guys, this is Mr. Calvin Gohari Shaw. Let's give him a hand clap, guys. Give him a hand clap. Look,
what's up,
I'm
baby?
going to wear this purple night hat today because we are both purple knights. So, you're
supposed to wear a Spartan hat too. You know what I mean? We go way back.
We go way back. Little league.
Since 85, bruh. Yeah, that
85.
85.
Man, I didn't have no hair on my face. Damn.
Well, none of us did. Not at 80. I was 9 years old. You know what I mean?
Hey, it was tough. It was tough. We were all wearing a size 6 shoe. 90 more. Yeah, 90 more, man. But look, guys, I just want to tell you if you have any questions, submit your questions, send them to us. Like, follow, and subscribe no matter what. Like, follow, and subscribe. Any questions, we're here to answer you. But look, I just want to let everybody know that Calvin, let me give you a briefing right quick, guys, because I know everybody want to know what's going on. But Calvin and I have been friends, compadres, partners since Joe Brown Park, which is located in the New Orleans East area. We grew up playing football, various sports at Joe Brown Park, and then our middle school, junior high time era, we split and then wind up back together in high school at St. Augustine High School, the number one best high school in the United States.
Fact.
Points down. In fact, got a purple night cup just for tonight, guys.
Man, I'm tripping. I ain't got no night stuff. I had it down there with me. That's all right. I'm gonna go with the Lionheart for now. I'm purple at heart. You know that.
Purple at heart all day, baby, all day. So I'm gonna give you a brief little story about Calvin right quick. Y'all pay attention. He's a life and business transformation coach for Christian businessmen. The key word, Christian businessmen. He also empowers Christian businessmen to grow in their purpose, their passion, profits without overwhelming themselves. He's also an entrepreneur, husband, and a father of 3 amazing kids. They got to be amazing because their dad is amazing, guys. Wait till you hear everything we got coming for you. He's the 3rd funniest person at the church. Now, that is funny right there. That is funny right there. And he's the founder and CEO, Lionheart Peak Performance, coaching for kingdom businessmen and leaders. The founder of CEO of Versus Fit Transformation Lab Team, personal training studio. I got to get in that studio. I got to get this weight off and that pressure down. Pressure down. Director of the men's ministry at First Baptist Church in Marble Falls, Texas. Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir. Marble Falls. That's right.
Yep, director of the men's ministry. 2 decades of experience in ministry, kingdom leadership, sports medicine, strength and conditioning, and fitness coaching. Guys, we got a superstar in our hands. He also loves traveling, team competition events, participating in Tough Mudders and other OCR races, basketball, football, and strength training. Hey, I've been strength training all my life by playing football on all these various levels. But now at 48, I got to get back at it because all the muscle is turning into fat. and all the fat is causing stress
Yes, sir.
on top of everything, which is causing my pressure to be out the roof at times right now. So from this day forward, I got set my budget to go toward my friend Go Hard Kelvin. Thank you for coming on. Whatever advice you have
Good to
for
be here,
our
brother.
listeners, look, give it to us right now. Now, before we start, have you ever been on that pond?
That's a great question. I have been on the pond, but it's been on jet skis and boats and whatnot. So I am probably the least fisherman that's on your podcast. Because I know
That's not a problem.
I'm
Not a
just saying,
problem at all.
I'm just saying that, you know what I'm saying? Being from New Orleans, everybody like, hey, I've literally never been fishing. The one time I was going to go fishing, it started lightning. And we never got back to it. It was just one of the things, you know, it wasn't passed on. My dad didn't do it. I would go crawfishing with my grandfather, you know, things of that sort.
Right.
But as far as me throwing a rod, I've done it like a few times, but it wasn't like, this is not my thing. But that's okay. Right. But I understand. Here's the thing, like you talk about my background. I was a college strength and conditioning coach, you know, worked with Division I athletes, professional athletes over the years, the guys who went overseas, all those things like that. So I understand the mechanics of pretty much any athletic movement and what does it take for that, the mental side of it, the emotional side of it, if you want to be great. Now, if you want to be great at business, you want to be great at sports, you want to be great at ministry, being a husband, there's a level of disciplines that's necessary to make that happen. So no matter what, like I said, I understand what it takes to be great and what are the roadblocks that it takes to get there. So we can get into that, all that kind of stuff too as well.
Awesome. First roadblock is overcoming fear. That's the first roadblock, is overcoming fear. When I started kayak fishing 6-7 years ago, the thing was how I was going to balance myself in that boat. The fear was falling over. Always, there's some form of fear in everything. You know, playing football, there was a fear of hurting yourself or getting ran over, especially playing defense. The fear was every week, man, I'm not letting nobody run over me. But it's a fear till you have that physical contact and you feel it, then you know, I got it. So my fear of kayak fishing was the first time getting in a kayak, am I going to flip over? The second one was alligators.
Yeah, that's real.
We down here in New Orleans, in the south, in the marsh and the swamp. There's always fears of alligators being everywhere. Till I realized that the alligator is actually scared of us.
Facts.
More than we're scared of him. So when we see alligators now, it's actually a blessing to see them in their own habitat, move around, and how they hunt, how they look at you, how they move away, because they're God gift. They're a blessing. They've been here longer than everybody else on this world. It's kind of like a little dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's my main fear. How do you overcome fear at an older age in life?
That's great understanding of even recognizing and awareness of it. A lot of times people say that everything you want in life is on the other side of your comfort zone. There's an element of that, but here's the thing: you're uncomfortable not being able to do it. A lot of times we say, "Oh, I'm in my comfort zone." Some people are there, but a lot of times it's like not about the comfort zone. It's about what's familiar. We stick to what's familiar. The identity that we've been holding on, what we've been used to, what we can do reps with. You know, it's kind of like if you're playing pickup basketball. If we play pickup basketball, we want to show our strong moves. That's the time when you want to show your weak moves. Practice the weak moves so that you get better at that time. But here's the thing. Most people to take their life from like the regular average to greatness, like from going from good to greatness, it's going to require some effort. It's going to require some lack of esteem. You're not going to look so good at the next level. That's the part of it. You got to understand. I'm not going to look so good because now I'm at the bottom of this barrel. I've been king at this level down here, but now I'm going to jump in here. Like what we said, Joe Brown in Pee Wee ball, everybody was okay. There are some outstanding people like this, but next level going to high school. Now the best of the best of each one of those schools in those programs are playing now. I wasn't good enough to play at the high school level. I was too small. I didn't have enough skill set. I was street ball. I don't know if you remember this, but when I came out for Joe Brown in 85, I never played organized ball before at all. So I didn't even know where the positions were. I didn't know nothing like this. And I started several weeks behind everybody. Like we found out late about playing. So I came on a team and I can remember I didn't know anything. I joined a week before we had our first scrimmage. And I remember that scrimmage and it said, Richard, go for safety. I was like, where's safety? I didn't know no positions. You know what I'm saying? You play street ball, quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. That's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? That's all I knew. And so safety. So Ronnie Crosby had to take me and bring me to the middle of the field and told me where to be. First play is a running play, and somebody made a tackle. The second play, they threw the ball in my area. I know the ball's in the air. I know what to do with the balls in the air. I went and caught an interception and ran it back like 27 yards and, got tackled. And was like, okay, I probably, I know how to play the game, but I don't know the game. So I could have kept myself back from even trying because everybody was so much more advanced than me. They've been doing it longer. They've been playing for 1, 2, 3 years, and I didn't know anything. But I had to realize in this okay, let me just figure it out. So the same way for you, okay, how I'm going to balance myself. I haven't been training like an athlete in a long time. I haven't been doing these things to work on my balance. This is a new, being in a kayak is different from being on a boat. It's different from being on the dock, right? So all those things are elements like I have to be a different person. And I'm probably not going to be that good at it. Everyone, and whenever you're starting something brand new, you're going to go from being bad to good and good to great. Most people won't suffer the difficulty and embarrassment of going from bad to good. You can move from bad to good really quickly. Good to great takes time. But most people are going to shut it down before they even get to good because I'm just not good at this. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I can't balance myself on a kayak. Like you say, all those things. And then the stories. Everything when it comes down to growth and change and transformation, it comes down to the stories you tell and the standards you set. The stories and the standards will change everything in your life. So the story, alligators. I'm scared of alligators. What if I fall in? But once again, the truth will make you free. So you studied and understood the truth that alligators aren't going to be that aggressive like on TV, Hollywood shows and things like that. They're not going to be that aggressive, and typically they're more afraid of us. So when you get the facts, you can be free from that fear and say, I'm going to be out on a boat. Alligator pass by, I'm like, he just doing his thing. I'm good. Now, I ain't going to go out there and go try to wrestle him. But he's not going to be most likely, and not going to try to jump in his boat like you see on TV. So once again, you find out the truth. You recognize where you're lacking and understand it's just going to take me some time to get better at what I'm doing. But I'm dedicated because I have a clear vision that I want to do this and I want to do it well. And I know it's going to be some sacrifice for me to get there. And that's the mindset that it takes. That's the emotional resilience that it takes to say, I'm going to go through the sucky part of this. This is going to suck. But I'm willing to embrace the suck that's going to be necessary for me to get there so I can be great.
So guess what? We got this week, Saturday. We got an early morning Saturday. And a lot of us that go out fishing, a lot of us got a few different rituals. And one of my rituals is a quick prayer. And I always say my favorite verse, which is like Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yep. That was one of my dad's, before he passed, one of his favorite verses, because it talks about giving all your faith unto God and to Jesus Christ, our Savior. And it moved me about 2-3 years ago. We were fishing, and there was a friend of mine, his name Kalen, and another friend of mine named Joe. And we got in the kayak, and everybody took off. Everybody just took off. We were in Cattle. We were in Cattle Lake. I think it was a Bassmaster tournament or a KBF championship or one of the big tournaments we had at Cattle. Everybody was just taking off. Boom, boom, boom. All three of us grabbed hands and said a prayer together, and then we dispersed. And when I tell you, it touched me because I was like, man, if we all can do this together, and it's black, white, black. On that water, color don't matter. We just did what we know what to do, what we've been taught what to do. And from that day forward, I always make sure I say a prayer and then I go out into it. So from the spiritual sense, give me a little something that can motivate me every tournament when I get ready to go out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you already showed that example of being unashamed. Being unashamed to pray, unashamed to this is who I am. I mean, you come from bloodline preachers and stuff like that, so that's part of who you are. And so stepping in that identity is important. So like my fitness studio, I've had my Various Fit Transformation Lab out here in Marble Falls for 16 years. And when I started, it started at my old church. And so it was just members of the church. So we could talk about scriptures and we could play Christian music. All that stuff is great. Then I finally opened it up to the public. And I had this first orientation. I had 27 people sign up for my first outdoor boot camp, which we started before we have our studio. And 27 people. And I remember going to this orientation getting ready to get started. I'm like, yo, this ain't all church people. Do I still pray? And I just felt the Spirit of God says, I brought you this, give me glory. And I said, all right, guys, we're about to get started. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, set the foundation of prayer is with our business. It's faith-based. We open and close in prayer. It is Part of it, most of the music we play in Christian ain't no cuss music and none of that kind of stuff. That we set the atmosphere for that specific point. Now I am a minister of the gospel, but I was a knucklehead for a long time. I didn't come to Christ till I was 24 years old. So there's an old me, there's a new me that stands on business when it comes down to standing on the Bible, standing on Christian values. For you to say I'm gonna make this part of my identity, part of even my personal brand. Some people it's risky for some because corporate America may not want to be sponsor you, may not want to be that if you stand in that way. But once again, the right people are gonna be in alignment with you. So you don't ever want to be fake when it comes down to that. And that's one thing I do help with businessmen a lot of times is helping them with their personal brand as well. Whether it's in their own business or inside of a business entity, we create a personal brand that makes them stand out and stick out. So for me, I don't care what it is, you're gonna get this Jesus. It's just what it is. Whether it's related to fitness, we're talking about sports, whatever it may be. And so that set the foundation of what we are. And I believe that that's one of the reasons why we've been successful. We've been able to prosper in business is because we put God first. And that's what he says in Matthew 6:33. First ye seek the kingdom of his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto me. So there's an order. God has an order. And so for me, putting him first and dedicating that, like you said, safe, I'm on his water. Protect me. Give me your favor with you and with man, and let me be super attractive to these big old fish. Whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Let me be super attractive. Let me be fine and sexy to them. Let them just live on my bait and all, whatever whatever it is. I'm silly, so I'm always gonna be like that too.
Bite my tail.
Yeah, my tail. Come on, come get some of this. Come get some of this. So once again, for me, it's the foundation of that. That's part of it. I'm going to be somewhat related to ministry in some form of fashion because God's word is true. It's biblical. It's practical. It's not just spiritual. The Bible ain't just spiritual. It's practical too. If you apply the practicality, that's what Jesus did. He wasn't talking no high speeches. He wasn't talking no crazy. Look, man, it's kind of like a farmer putting seeds down. Look, man, it's kind of like a welder. It's kind of like a blacksmith. It's kind of like this. He just talk in normal everyday language that people can understand. And so that's part of what I kind of like to do is really take the biblical ideas and terms and make it like real life, practical in life. Like, how do I apply this?
We talked about this on a few other podcasts. Your favorite snack while you're on the water. Now, some of my favorite snacks are not healthy.
What are those, Sean? Tell me what are these? What are these snacks we're talking about?
The snacks be what you call them? Those I ain't gonna say no skin. What's the jerky? Jerky is like the sodium in the jerky is out the roof.
It is, but if you don't have a high blood pressure and a sodium issue, like your doctor said, it's not a horrible thing. It's better to go with the protein and the salt than it is with a lot of sugary stuff. So not too bad unless your doctor, like I said, unless your sodium levels are high and things like that, then you have to watch it.
So what else we have? A lot of times we bring up like those honey buns.
Yeah, that ain't.
Honey buns, the crackers, the peanut butter crackers. I don't see too much wrong with the peanut butter crackers.
Yeah,
but most of them.
You add all those carbs. That's the thing. You add all those carbs in there, it can affect you. Now, peanut butter it sustains you, but once again, most of the time we have more peanut butter than I always say. If you didn't measure it, it's too much peanut butter.
More peanut butter than the jelly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, So that's something. Once again, on there, it's for energy. But really and truly, think back in the day when we were trying to put on weight. What we ate: peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Because it adds weight. It's a high in calorie and dense stuff that there too. So here's the thing: we got to recognize the emotional attachment to food. All right. So I've been helping with folks with weight loss and, or guys getting stronger, bigger, whatever it may be. But when it comes down, there's emotions that attach to food. We typically crave crunchy foods when we have anxiety and nervousness. Think about this. If you go to a baseball or softball game, what kind of snacks they have? Sunflower seeds, peanuts, all the crunchy, because it's look, it's a boring and long game. I worked it as an athletic trainer. It's a long game, so they got to keep you occupied, whether you playing or you sitting in a stands.
Popcorn.
You know what I'm saying?
Popcorn.
All stuff that's crunchy. And guess what? They don't have shelled sunflower seeds because they want you to go through the crunch. It's all that makes you feel, cuts the anxiety, it passes time, all that kind of thing. So there's a reason why certain foods are like that. If you're craving sugar feels like a warm hug from grandma. It feels like love. It feels comfort food. It feels like
chocolate covered almonds.
Oh yeah, all that. Just get the almonds, bro. Just the almonds without the chocolate. Here's the thing: when you're used, like we talk about something changing. If you're used to the chocolate covered almonds, as soon as you go with a regular almond, man, this don't even taste the same. Guess what? Your palate is trainable. Your palate is trainable. Think about what a cheeseburger looked like when we were kids. It was like burger, cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup, boom, done. Now we want some grilled onions. We want some mushrooms. We want some, some crazy sauces and stuff on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it changes.
Bacon on it.
Vegetables that bacon and all the things like that. But when we were kids, there's certain vegetables we didn't like. We like them now because our palates have matured and you can be trained. So the first few bites of that almond without the chocolate on it is not going to feel so good. But you get used to it and like, this is what I do now. We have to have the discipline in saying that everything I can't be so weak that I'm a punk, submit to or succumb to whatever snack is in front of me. You know what I'm saying? We got to have some discipline.
Right.
Just like you. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying one thing, like even as you being, a high level athlete for so many years. Did you play in college too? I can't remember.
Yeah, Nicholls State.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you talking about until what, age 23?
Yeah.
So you done been an athlete from 4 or 5 years old to 23. All these years, you did the training and the discipline was from somebody external. It was a coach. It was a parent. It was somebody telling you, you got to run like this. You got to do this. So all of a sudden, Sean goes to be no longer being 23, done with the sport. And then I've been eating a certain way that a lot of calories have been burned when I'm practicing and I'm training and I'm doing all these things. And now those calories aren't being burned. And I don't have somebody saying, you got to run right now. You got to show up for early morning practice. You got to do 2-a-days. Somebody's not telling you that now. So now we got to form this self-discipline that hasn't been there. So it's beautiful that we had coaching, but the hard part is that we didn't have the self-discipline because it was all external. Now we got to form this self-discipline and say, I keep working out. I still keep moving. I still keep my body, in shape. But that means I got to actually step another level. I got to be a coach to myself, or I got to hire somebody to help me with that transition to be able to do it by myself.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's real tough.
It's tough because you get lazy fast.
Easy.
We get lazy fast. And I got into the kayaking thinking I was going to be mobile with it, moving. Now, they have made it so easy for you. We used to paddle. We used to paddle. My first kayak was a Pelican Catch 120. I had to paddle it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting older, I'm getting more mature in it, understanding more. I'm looking at these different tournaments, and people are blind, like just flying by me, paddling with their feet.
Mm-hmm.
They're pedaling now. They're pedaling. So now your exercise is going from here to not to your feet.
Core, yeah. The core working, the arms,
the
everything.
The core part gone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the core part is gone. Now everything is done with a remote control. I just sit there and move. My legs not moving like it were. My core is not. So it's like remote control fish. So it's almost the kayaking part is kind of gone. It's just like we're in little miniature boats now. It's like we just in these little miniature boats. We all over the place. We making boaters angry because they can't catch the fish we're catching now because we could get deeper in water spots they can't get.
More mobile.
And it's crazy, man. It's so crazy being on the water, competing.
Yes.
220 some people competing for one top prize. And when I tell you, it could be overwhelming.
Yes.
So from your point of view, how can you assist us or help us deal with the overwhelming part of trying to compete versus everyone and keeping that mindset that we actually doing it for fun?
Yeah. So, well, guess what? Professional athletes, they do it for fun, but they get paid for it. They know the disciplines, the payoff is big. So you got to treat it like, okay, if I'm treating it like a hobby, it's going to pay me like a hobby. If I'm treating it like it's a sport that I'm actually going to earn from, then I still want to enjoy it and have that fulfillment. But at the same time, I want to be good at it. So like you were saying, the physicality is moved away because you don't have this and it's remote. So I need to be disciplined outside of this boat so that I can actually get the physicality behind it. You know what? You look good, you feel good, you perform good. So we talking about peak performance. Peak performance is mental, emotional. It's the nutrition, it's the diet, it's getting enough sleep, it's getting enough rest, it's being strong, being fit. I'm saying that if I'm gonna catch the big boys, I want to be able to catch them efficiently and quickly. So I can't let it beat me up. So I got to have a strong core. I got to have my arms, my forearms, all the things ready for that. It can be overwhelming looking at everybody else, but then I say, okay, I know my game. I know my game and I know what I need to do in the way where I advance. So what's my skill set? What sets me different? I've taken the time to learn all the technical stuff. I've gotten all the right tackle. I've gotten all the right, I may not use all the right language. I got all the right equipment that's necessary. You know what I'm saying? I got all the equipment necessary for me to be well. So, but that doesn't supersede the talent and the skill set. So even the word skill, I'm sorry, to go back to the word discernment and wisdom. If you look at Solomon, I'm always gonna come back to the Bible. It's just gonna happen like that. Go back in the Bible.
Okay.
Solomon asked for discernment so that he can rule over the land. We know that Solomon is being the wisest of all kings, the richest and wisest. The word wisdom actually translates over to skill. So he asked God for the skills for me to govern well, to lead well. So the same way we're talking about acquiring the skills to be great at being on this boat, great at being the guy who catches the right ones. So it could be overwhelming with so many different people. But once again, if I tell the right story, it's like it's me against me. Ain't nobody else it's like they don't have that any advantage over me other than me working on my area. I'm in my area. I have my skill set. I know I can see areas where I need to move, I need to be, place myself, and I keep getting better at it. And I keep getting, with the skill set. So knowing that it's a journey to greatness, greatness doesn't come quickly. So I know I'm in no competition with any other man. It's me against me. So if I'm taking care of my temple and I'm taking care of myself and I'm preparing myself ready, I don't have to worry about anybody else. I'm going to have my day to shine if I keep staying consistent and getting better. I have a growth mindset, believing that I can get better. I know that I can achieve the next level. So the overwhelm is big. That's why I even talk about that. Like I help guys take their life and business to the next level without the overwhelm. The overwhelm is what brings on the anxiety, the depression, the suicidal thoughts, the chaos in our life. And I call it the pit of despair. In that pit of despair is where it's hard to climb out of. We want to avoid getting there, but when we're in there, most guys are like, want to throw a rope down. I'm going to climb down there with you and we're going to climb out together. So we have life happening. So how can I get in the zone in this moment? Just like in a football game, get amped up, you got your right songs on, you got your pregame ritual, all that. Same thing here. I did it in college. Before a test day, it's game day, baby. I'm high-fiving folks. That was a little obnoxious. I'll give it that. It's game day, baby. Let's go. I'm getting ready to take a test. I'm getting hyped. Get yourself in that zone. Get yourself, your mind and your body primed to excel. So part of that is, what is the pregame ritual? What am I eating beforehand that I know is going to energize my body? Am I hydrated? Am I drinking enough
That's
water?
What we need. I need that. I need that.
Gotta have
Think
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Because see, most of the time we up at 4:00 in the morning preparing for that next day. So give us like some of the anglers I know that are listening that will be following on and listening. Just give us some.
Just some practical nutrition and
nice nutritional stuff that we should be trying to do or follow while we prepare for the tournament and while we actually on it. Because we fishing 8 straight hours.
Yes.
Look, I just did a tournament last week. I had water, I had snacks. I maybe drank about 6 ounces of the water.
Yeah.
The whole day. Just because anxiety.
You focus on this.
I didn't drink enough. But them legs, they were cramping when it was over. Them legs were cramping. I didn't get enough soda in me, I believe. And I know keep a pickle just for the new style pickle that they sell that's all cut up for you. So you don't have to actually be biting into the whole pickle. You could just eat so much of it and then close it back up. I do that just because I know I will catch cramps.
Right.
Because I don't drink enough.
So, yes. So water, but also electrolytes. I would actually be going alternating. Some water, some electrolytes. Some water, some electrolytes. Gatorade's got a lot of sugar. There's some better stuff out there that you can get. There's Element. There's stuff online. There's some different things that's going to be with less sugar, or some of them even sugar-free, and they're sweetened with stevia. Stevia doesn't have the calories and whatnot in it. So look for a high-quality electrolyte. The pickles are good. But here's the thing. We naturally eat and drink for proximity and what's convenient and what's proximal. So whatever's nearby and whatever's easy is what we're going to do. So your water might be a little too far away from you. Mine is right here. I can grab it in the middle of the show. Because guess what? If I didn't have it right here and it was out of reach, out of respect for you and on this camera, I'm not going to say, let me go grab my water. I'm going to have it right here. But if I don't, and I did the same thing when I was at University of New Orleans, I was a head strength coach and assistant athletic trainer there. I would make my water in the morning and I sit on my desk. And if I didn't take it out there on the floor with me, I would not have any water all day. And I come around lunchtime, like, why am I so thirsty? And they got condensation all on the desk because I didn't even touch any of it. So once again, make it easy and nearby. Even if you got to get one of them the joints that has the water in the backpack.
On the backpack.
Yeah, boom. You know what I'm saying? If you got to do something like that, because you need to make it easy. Make it easy to make great decisions. Make it hard to make the bad decisions. So that's one. Having the snacks, having all the things around you. If you're talking about 8 hours being on there, that's a whole work day. You typically, say if you're a carpenter, you ain't going to go 8 hours without eating and drinking water. right?
No, you're not.
And
No.
so sometimes because I'm sitting, I think that I don't need as much. That sun hit, that dehydration, that sweat, all that stuff is coming out of your system.
Right.
Just like we just did a Tough Mudder. Tough Mudder is a obstacle course race, 20 something, 30 obstacles as a 15K. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy doing those. That's the things that I get into. We have a carb low dinner the night before, just like if you're doing a distance race. So having some carbohydrates the night before, because that's going to fuel the next morning. You talking about early. Most people, huh? Yeah, some pasta, some rice, and potatoes, anything like that is going to help you have the carbohydrates. So have that in your dinner. It's going to help you sleep, but it's also going to give you some fuel for the next day. So when you're waking up, you may have energy bars, some protein bars, some things like that, some almonds, some nuts, some fruit, some fresh fruit to keep everything going, bananas and oranges and things like that.
Oh,
so
banana, the worst thing. No bananas. No bananas on the boat. They're actually considered like the worst. They good for your body, but they like a bad luck chunk.
I ain't going bananas on the banana boats was. I mean, come on, man. So I don't do superstition. So I get that, but I don't do superstition. If you don't want to do bananas, that's fine. But guess what? Somebody might be saying that.
You just can't bring them on the boat.
Okay, so guess what? There might be somebody that said that a long time ago. It's bad. You said that, or somebody else said that. Bananas on the boat is a bad luck. Guess what? That dude who said that is probably sneaking some bananas and eating them on the boat because he know y'all ain't gonna handle potassium and he gonna have it in his system. I'm just saying, it works well. There's a reason why but guess what? When I was on that Tough Mudder, it sure enough had a station that had bananas. What? Why they had bananas? They had bananas? Why they gonna have that there? So hey, I ain't gonna mess with your mojo if that's your thing, but I'm just saying I would be having bananas. But if not,
I mean, it's great for potassium. I eat 2 a day.
As you should on about to say, as you should on that boat. It's potassium, and guess what? That's one of your electrolytes. I would be having it. And you talk about cramping. Literally, it's probably the best fruit for cramping. Right now, that bananas or prunes, dried apricots, but bananas still one of the best ones because it's still more fresh.
No prunes on the boat. No prunes on the boat. I do not have a toilet.
Hey, I got you on that. Now, see, we over exaggerate, man. You ain't gonna eat a prune. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just giving you some game on some things. But I would have I would have good quality jerky. I would have nuts. I would have fruit, but water and electrolytes. But your performance starts the night before. What you have for dinner. What you're going to have, I mean, the quality of sleep that you're going to have, obviously you want to have 8 hours, but typically in your head, we're not going to be able to sleep that good. You know what I'm saying? If you got to be up on, be up at 3, 4, you ain't going to be there. But if you can get a good 5 hours in, that'd be great. Shoot for getting this. Yeah, shoot if you can, because getting up that early, and then the nervousness and stuff. We typically don't sleep that well before it's performance game day. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they know that's going to be a little limiting. But I might have to do. I need a little caffeine, but not too much early on because I can bail out. I may want to not have maybe have a little bit of caffeine early, and about midway through the day, that 4 or 5 hours, I have a little bit more caffeine to kind of get that boost to keep that awareness. So those are some of the things that I would say on top of it. But if you're only getting a few sips of that water, that's not it. So even if you got to set an alarm that says, every 30 minutes, take a sip. Take a sip.
Take a sip.
You know what I'm saying? Just put it through. And so if you already know you cramping and stuff like that, we can't just say, oh yeah, well, I'm just somebody who cramps. No, that's because we haven't changed anything. You got to actually change the game and say, no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to cramp. For instance, my calves are the things that cramp the most for me. I got pretty stout calves. I got flat feet, so they get a lot of pressure. I run on my toes, so I get a lot of pressure. Yeah. Typically in either like a 10K or I did 1 half marathon in 2020, probably my first and last. But towards the end, my calves cramped up. That's my nemesis. Doing a Tough Mudder, it's my calves. For the first, I kept saying, man, I didn't do something different. I wore compression socks for the first time in any of these races. Man, my calves and Achilles were perfect. One change. I had these long, you think, oh, I'm gonna put them long on socks on, come up over my calves. Yo, that helped. It helped me tremendously. But I made it. I made a shift. Yeah, you may not need. Yeah, that was it. If you were doing that already, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the things. Like for me, I ain't doing no more races unless I have those on. It was game changing. Calves were fine. Yeah. Now other stuff might have been hurting, but for that was it. You know what I'm saying?
How many miles?
Well, that 15K would have been almost 11 miles.
That's but it's a lot of miles.
It is, and it's broken down. Like you do maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles, then you do an obstacle. Do a mile, do half a mile obstacle. So it's broken down like that. It's a long day, but like I said, I love it because of the challenge, the camaraderie, helping everybody else do and stuff like that. Right. So those are things I enjoy because it's just that challenge. I'm 49. I'm still playing flag football and pickup basketball and running Tough Mudders. I do this. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, you in shape. You in shape, man. You embarrass me now.
No, I ain't about no embarrassment, bro. He's like, just come on with me.
Embarrassment.
Ain't no, ain't no.
Look, this what I need. We got a few chunky brothers on them kayaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we do need a little bit of transformation here there. So give us a little juice on how we could start with transforming our bodies at home until we able to really start doing a lot more for ourselves.
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. Like I told about the story, you got to look at the vision in your life. Not just what you're doing right now, but what does it look like 10 years from now, 20 years, 30, 40 years from
Right.
now? You see obese people, you see elderly people. You don't see obese, elderly people. They don't make it. Obesity will kill us early.
Right.
So we can't play it, I'm just big bone, I'm gonna get to it. No, we gotta create some urgency behind it. So even the story, and I ain't trying to scare nobody and things like that, but the fact is, you don't see many 300-pound 80-year-olds.
No.
They don't exist. So if you heavier than you need to be, and it's not coming from lean muscle, then you got to get your act together. You got to take it seriously. Here's the thing, men out there that's listening, if you got daughters, do you want a stranger walking your daughter down the aisle, or do you want it to be you? Your lifestyle can determine what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You can check out early with a heart attack or diabetes or any of those things, and some strange man is walking your daughter down the aisle.
Right.
That's real talk. So for me, the vision is I want to be a cool grandfather. Now, my kids are 26, 20, and 18, so we getting there, but we ain't there yet. we get to that point. But for me, cool grandfather means I'm healthy, strong, and fit that I can play with them. My grandparents watched me play. They didn't play with me, but I can actually throw the football, shoot the basketball. I want them to be scared that Pawpaw can beat them in a 40-yard dash. You know what I'm saying? That's I wanted to be like that. So physically, I'm there. Also, for me, the vision of that being a cool grandfather is financially, I have the funds that wherever they are in this earth, I can travel and get there. So if my daughter decides to move to Nebraska, I can just fly over like no problem, stay there as long as I need to, because my businesses will actually give me the sustainability that I can be there for a week or two and everything keeps running. I can work remotely. So for me, these are the particular goals when it comes down to that. The vision, set the vision. Okay, I want to be lean. That's not necessarily I got to get back. A lot of times I want to get back to where I used to be when I was an athlete. I want to get back. That's a rear view. Who can I be right now? So Sean can say, okay, what's ideal weight for me to be right now? It may not be the ideal. What's the pant size that I want to be right now? I want to get into a 36. I want to get into a 34. Whatever it is, that's my goal that I want to get to. I set that out. And I raise the why. I don't just say I just want to get in shape. No, I want to get in shape for my family. I want to get in shape for my craft, my sport. I want to get in shape because whether we like it or not, we judge each other from first opinion. When we see somebody and you see a dude that's lean, think about it. We see a dude that's lean, got some biceps, got some, got a little body physique to him, and he got gray hair. We know that respect, because that means he's got some disciplines for his body that's going to cross over to other areas of his life. You know what I'm saying? So there's a part of that where I show up as strong and as courageous as I can be. I show up as fit as I can, because if my body is sharp, my mind's going to be sharp too as well. I have the longevity that in those last 2 hours of that tournament, I still got game. I'm not fatigued, and I'm not starting to think about when I get home and, ooh, man, that bag gonna feel so good. No, I still got game. This fourth quarter, baby. I'm stepping up where everybody else is. Here's the thing. When everybody else is starting to fade off because they might have drank too much last night and they ain't got no electrolytes in their body and they too fluffy and they ain't got no energy. So here's why I shine. I'm a finisher. So now I got the energy, I got the tenacity, I got the grit, I got the emotional resilience that it's game time now. Everybody's gonna fall off. This is why I shine. This is why I separate myself from everybody else. So even having that vision of being that guy that does that, that's another part. So now start off when it comes down to working out. We used to, when we were younger, for those who did train, we might have been in that gym for hour and a half, 2 hours, two and a half hours. That don't make no sense for us anymore. We don't have time for that. Okay. So you got to compress it. So what's better than having 3 workouts that are 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, to actually doing 4 to 5 to 6 days a week at 20 to 30 minutes only. Start there. What can I do consistently? It's like saying, you know what? I'm going to skip all during the week and I ain't going to brush my teeth. But on a weekend, on Saturday, I'm going to go 20 minutes now. And that's going to get me through the week. It don't work that way, right? I'm going to drink all the water on the weekend. And I ain't going to drink nothing during the week. That don't work.
It ain't going to work that way. Right.
So consistently, what can I do? Now, I train 5 to 6 days a week. It's just part of my lifestyle. It's what I do. All right. That puts me in a position to be, to keep the lifestyle, keep going. Now, my training sessions at my studio, they're only 45 minutes. We get after it. We got a consistent warm-up and cool down at the end, but a coach is leading you to do what you need to do in the session. So today we had some different circuits, some different things we did today that worked in total body. Tomorrow's going to be more of a metabolic conditioning. So it doesn't make a difference. It's like, here's a simple rule of thumb. Lower body, upper body, core. Pick 3 exercises that does that. So I may say I can get a timer and go 30 seconds. I can go 15 reps for everything. So I do 15 squats. I don't care if you don't have no body, you just use body weight. 15 squats, 15 push-ups, and then 15 crunches. And I do 4 sets of that. Okay, not what I'm doing, but I'm doing right behind each other. I'm doing like 30, set of reps and keep going because I'm doing what's called a 1-to-3 work to rest ratio. While I'm doing the squats and then I do the push-ups and then I do the abs, while I'm doing the abs, I've rested 2 time periods to come back to the first exercise. That's the beauty of a circuit because you can move more efficient. Because back in the day, bench press, boom, set, sit, chill. 2 minutes, 1 minute, about a minute. Do another set, boom. Now we in there 2.5 hours. Now I might have been yoked, but guess what? I don't need to be yoked like that no more. I don't have to be super jacked. I ain't gotta be that's the thing. I'm 49. I ain't gotta be the strongest dude in the weight room. I ain't gotta be the biggest guy. Now back in the day, that would be the thing for me. So now it's like I need to do what I can do right now. So you take a circle like that. Okay, so I say I do squats, do push-ups, and then I do some kind of crunch. Then I come back and I do lunges or I do deadlifts. I do something else with my legs, and I may do a back exercise and do some other kind of core. I might do rotational things. I might take a medicine ball. I might do Russian twists. So you take those exercises and do that 4 times, 4 rounds of those. That's enough to get started. That might be 12 minutes. That's it. Now you can look on the internet, find other exercises, but keep it simple. Keep it simple and it's doable. You can start doing something 20 to 30 minutes a day. That all or none principle. I teach on this a whole lot with my coaching clients. That all or none. If I can't get in there for 2 hours, and why even bother? Give me 20 minutes. Give me 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be all or none. So find that sweet spot for you to get started. And you got to say, I'm going to commit to at least 6 weeks that I'm not going to stop. I may have to have some accountability. I need to tell my wife, I need to tell my kids, tell my partners. I'm making it on Facebook. I posted. I'm going to be consistent for the next 6 weeks. Why I say 6 weeks? Because it's going to take about that much time to really see some change, some kind of change. If you stay on it, if you're eating right, you're exercising, and you follow those protocols, watching all the the complex carbs, watching all the sweets and things like that, taking retraining your palate. About 6 weeks, you can start. You'll see it earlier too for some people, especially if you're really big. But I'm saying 6 weeks to really kind of see your body start to change, to start to transform.
Transform.
Yeah, that's it.
The transform. But look, before we get into anything else, before we go, I want you to give all your information so people can reach it or get in contact with you. Let them know how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, you can find me on many social media platforms as Calvin Gohard Richard. Just like you see the last name spelled Richard. I know folks outside Louisiana kind of hard to know that's Richard. I'm like that on YouTube, Facebook. You follow me, Instagram. Those are kind of my main hangouts. Regards to that, but if you CalvinGohardRichard.com is my website. So if you're looking for help on like I said, taking your life and your business to the next level, fitness is always going to be a component, but the coaching I do with that are basically entrepreneur athletes is what I look at when it comes down to those particular things there. The fitness side of things that's in there, mixed in there too as well. My studio is local. I've got some online stuff on top of that, but yeah. CalvinGohardRichard.com or Calvin Gohard Richard on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all your favorite places to hang out. I'm there. I ain't on Twitter, and I ain't on what was TikTok. I don't mess with them. I don't mess with Twitter.
No TikTok, no Twitter.
No, everybody, you should. I need to keep it simple. I got on TikTok for like 2 days and like, nope, this is a distraction. And that's the thing about it. Like, here's
it is.
If you want to be, you want to be amazing at bass fishing. You want to be amazing at one thing. You got to be able to say what things am I cutting out. You only have a certain amount of bandwidth. You can't do all the things. You know what I'm saying? We don't hear about Tiger Woods being an amazing tennis player at the same time. Some of the guys who play basketball, football, a lot of times they're multiple athletes. But we don't hear about them like setting up websites. LeBron we don't know about LeBron and his website creation skills.
Not at all.
Curry can play some golf. Like that's his other thing. He plays golf well. But outside of that, we're not hearing a bunch of things. So focus in and say, I'm dedicating myself to be in this craft and be amazing at it. And in order for me to do that, there's going to be some sacrifices. There's going to be some haters. They're going to be, you ain't got time for your boys anymore. Nah. Because guess what I was doing with you? Sitting around drinking and hanging out and just talking about some foolishness. Like this is my thing. And eventually they fall off. It don't matter.
That's a goal I have. So before we go, I got a quick question. What's your 5-year goal with your businesses?
5-year goal is to have 40 lions inside of my high-level mastermind, 40 men. I call them lions. It's called Lionheart. It's named our company. Most men don't have business problems. They have personal problems that show up in their business. And I help transform men from the inside out. So men who are struggling, they caught in that anxiety, that overwhelmed stuff, I help them with that. So for me, is having 40 lions in that high-level area. I've written 2 books at minimum by that time. I'm on stage. I'm a highly sought-after speaker. And I'm making $750K a year. So That's it. I'm changing lives, making impact, and living my best life.
That's it. That's it. God be with you.
Yes, sir.
Kelvin, I'm so thankful for you today. Thanks for casting your lines with us, fellas and ladies. And at the end, we're going to ask Kelvin to end us with a prayer for success in our podcast and in our fishing industry. And we appreciate all the time you put aside today from your family, because I know when you got kids, that's all your time right there, man. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. Since 1985, bro. It's been a
You old.
long time, and we've all come this way by faith,
Right.
and we all leaning on the everlasting arms. Go ahead, Kelvin, end us out with a prayer, and we are going to see you guys next Monday. Thank y'all.
Absolutely.
Set the Drag Podcast with Sean Johnson.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to you thanking you for this time together, for Sean and I to continue to sharpen each other, to continue to move further, to glorify your kingdom, to be great examples of leadership in our communities, in our families, in our organizations, and even on the water, Lord, on the pond itself, Lord. So we lift up everyone who is in their endeavors to move forward into this craft, that they will pick up the skills that are not just in the skill set itself, but also the mindsets, the preparation, and the emotional resilience necessary to be excellent, to move from good to greatness, Lord. So we thank you for those who, even on this tournament this Saturday, that you be with them, that they'll lock in and do their absolute best, and those who will just continue to move forward in all the things and endeavors you call them to do as a man, as a woman, and all the things that are going there. Did you bless this podcast? You continue to allow Sean to reach many men and women who have just a yearning and desire to be great at this, but also just to see the life aspects and how it crosses over to other areas of their lives as well. And we'll lift these things up to you. We thank you for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much.
All day, fam.
Purple Knight, I love you, brother.
Love you too, fam.
Thank you for all of it. And we are getting ready to go offline. Thank you, everyone. And we will chat with you later.
Peace.